Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another discussion video, and today we're going to continue with what we did last time, which was this thread right over here. It's going to be kind of like part 3, but I wouldn't call it part 3. We just have more information about mercenaries and also, what's it called, some improvements that we talked about before. So without further ado, I'm going to link this down below, and like always, let's just get right into it. Alright, so first, they have a player with a statement and then a dev with a response. So player, thank you. To be honest, the timeline feature is not really a must for the game, while also a perfect candidate for a mod. So what he's talking about over here, let's go back up, boom. So this was an idea or a concept that was rejected by the decision makers. Pretty much what it was it was going to show by a 3 to 5 year time frame battles that happened, also how the different kingdoms grew and stuff like that. Kind of a chart like this right over here, as you can see it, this type of chart. And if this reminds you of anything, it reminds you of Age of Empires 2. They have a similar one after every single game you play. You can see kind of a graph, right? So that's what they were kind of going for. I thought it would be a pretty cool idea, but unfortunately it was rejected. But let's see what what the dev has to say. Yes, it is just a quality of life improvement. It's not a must. However, it could be good seeing that kind of chart at game because it gives good info about how kingdoms are doing. This kind of feedback usually improves gameplay, but I am okay with the reject here. It's not a big deal. At least we will show how many days passed since war is started at wars page for each war. There we go. It was another suggestion and approved, which I also want to see. Cool. So we're going to see kind of like how long since the last war between this and that. Cool. It's a good change. It's minor, but good to know these small info. True. I like more info. I personally like more info. It gives me more stuff to definitely talk about, and people, just it gives you a better inclination of how stuff works in general. So good to see. Also, we should be able to see how many towns / castles / noble clans / mercenary clans / kingdom budget kingdoms has at war / peace pages. Okay, so there should be like a very clear way of showing all these stats, like how much they currently have of towns, castles, nobles, how much of the clans are mercenaries, and how much of the clans are regular vassals. I think that would be good to kind of separate it and kind of give it this nice breakdown. Definitely, I agree. Then we have another statement. So player, this guy does a lot for the thread. Shout out to you. He said these are some good additions. Okay. And he said, glad to hear we're getting some more info about our wars. True. Dev responds, we have one more problem related to mercenary factions. Today I was running a long-term test to see how kingdoms are going by time and see that all kingdoms start to have less and less minor factions over time. Finally, after the 35th year of the game, 1120s, all kingdoms have 0 mercenary factions, and this situation did not change for the remainder of the game. So, that's not good. I'm gonna keep it a quick stack, right? I think the majority of people don't make it to the 35th year of the game, unless they're just like trying to role play a certain role. But if you want to conquest, like take over the whole map, I think you would get it before the 35th year of the game, in my opinion. But plus we always have updates, so I feel like new people, not new people, just like players in general, and obviously newer players, they will just start a new save as soon as we get another update, which is kind of how it should be right now, because a lot of it's for testing and just getting feedback. And eventually, when the game does come out, updates are obviously going to be a lot slower unless they're needed, and obviously DLC are going to come out, and therefore that's when the longer games are going to take place. But obviously this does harm the late game, and this does need to be addressed. So people who are getting to this stage right now, and people who are going to get to this stage when the game fully releases and updates slow down, this definitely needs to be made right. Alright, so Dev continues. Reason of this is slowly all heroes die at these minor factions, and because they do not marry or have children, their existence at game ends after a time. Of course, this is not a major problem because it affects only 10% of players who play the game 30 plus. That's what I said. It's a low amount. but still a problem if we want to keep the game world with all game elements for long years. Probably we need to add new heroes to minor factions over time somehow. Here's how you do it. Here's how you do it. Here's how you do it. This might add too much mercenary factions, actually. But here's how I would do it. Ooh, no, this is actually good. Hey, hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. So you know when a rebellion happens and you take them out before the 30-day mark is done? What's it called? They get, like, their clan gets destroyed. What if the players that aren't destroyed actually escape and join mercenary clans? Would that not be a good idea? I'm thinking of, like, how can that be good or how can that be bad? That will give mercenaries more power, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think, I don't think that's a bad thing. We have another person saying, ideally, new mercenary faction will be formed by wanderers. That's a long shot. I don't think that will happen, because then you have to kind of, like, nah, I don't know. Because I'm thinking of how you can take a resource that we already have and relocate it to something else. We already have the clan creation of the... Whenever a rebellion starts, a new clan gets made, right? And if they stay, then they become vassals for somebody else. But what if they get destroyed and the remaining clan people that, the clan is completely destroyed, so they don't really have a place to stay. What if they join mercenary factions? I think that's a good idea. I think that makes sense, because you have those clans already there. They're already created, so you don't have to worry about that functionality of the game. Just add them to the mercenaries. Bro, I'm telling you, bro. I'm playing 4D chess out here, man. I'm telling you. I think that's the best way to do it. I think that takes the least amount of resources. It's the best way to implement it, and yeah, I think that's the best way to add them to minor factions. You don't have to add the whole marry option on that. Whenever rebellion happens, whenever they get if they get destroyed, right? Like, if they keep their settlement and they switch to a different thing, cool, they're vassals. But if their clan gets destroyed, how about we distribute those clan members to different minor factions? They just join up different minor factions. And if they get too big, if the minor faction gets too big, who cares? I think they should have more power. They'll just charge you more. You know what I mean? And this will keep them going over time, because rebellions happen over time. Boom, that's it, bro. That's the solution. I think, personally, I think that is the solution. Let's see. Why not just take wanderers who haven't been hired? Dev states they will die also by time, so we need to create new wanderers. Actually, this is also needed, and another problem. If you continue your game from your heir, there will be no wanderers. Most will be passed away. Interesting. So they stop spawning over time. Huh. Person says, has this changed over time? I remember a game a few months ago where new wanderers came to the game a few years after the start. No, they still come. That's not what he's talking about. I think they run out after they come for a long time. That didn't sound right. When they show up at taverns, I think that after a certain amount show up, they stop showing up, is what I meant to say. So Dev says, I need to check if this wanderer pool is limited or not. However, because they all have background stories, they should be limited. I have less info about this. Maybe we can add hundreds of backgrounds with a low probability new created wanderer can have same background story. If this is the case, we can create 1 to 2 wanderers each year. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you, bro. And I'm not trying to ruin the background characters, story writers, or whatever. But I don't think many players read them. I don't think we would really care that much if they were copied over. You know what I mean? Let's say there's 100 different stories that they can be right now, right? Once those 100 stories are done, just roll it again. Roll the next 100 stories. Make them the same. Just change the names a little bit. We'll be fine. Personally, that's what I think. I know some people might read it. I think I read it for the first couple times that I did it, but after a little bit, you check the stats, you go on your way. You know what I mean? But that's just me. What else we got? Back on topic, I do agree these wanderers should periodically. Oh, this is, by the way, this is a player, and then we have a dev response. So, player, back on topic. I do agree these wanderers should periodically join minor factions or even form their own. That's not gonna happen. I don't know if the form their own is gonna happen. I know Mexico mentioned that the kingdom building code was pretty heavy, and we likely won't see rebels / minor factions start their own kingdom. But that would really make it immersive and honestly temper down snowballing unless new minor factions dogpile the weakened kingdom like they do. Another annoying piece is that all the minor factions are hardcore into war. I sort of understand from a lore perspective, but what if they can all be merc companions that... Wait, what? Merc companions that hard coding the war feels like I don't feel like... Wait, this is like 3 different sentences put together. And I spend my time hurting and flinging javelins into them to stop my Karens from being ganked. Okay, I don't know what the last part was about. Okay, let's see what the dev has to say. Actually, I'm not the owner or decision. I'm not the owner of this decision or comment. Maybe another dev said that. I think rebels to create their kingdoms with very low probability make game better in most terms. I support this idea. Nice, based, but I don't think it's gonna happen. However, I'm a bit far to these codes / decisions at there, and I do not know what are the side effects of adding new created kingdom to map. Obviously, there would have to be a lot of play testing, but I really think it should happen. That's all I can say. I really think it should happen. But for the time being, I think for the Wanderers being limited, just do the same stories, change the name a little bit. I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. Or if you want to add the 100 extra ones, cool, do that too. But I think repeated stories, not going to be that big of a deal as you might think. In terms of the mercenaries dying over time, if a rebellion fails, the remaining clan members spread out between the mercenary groups. We don't want all of them to join the same one because that would make it kind of powerful. Let them spread out evenly and just randomly pick one of each for themselves and just go on their way. That's the best way I can think of recruitment. And for the mercenary clans, you can put kind of like a limit on how much members they can have. And if they reach that limit, then whenever that clan is destroyed, they're actually destroyed. You know what I mean? If all mercenary clans are at their capacity and there's another rebellion, when that rebellion clan is destroyed, it's actually destroyed then, right? But if the mercenaries need new recruits, that's what they're gonna join. Boom. That is boom. And that's how I'm gonna end the video. I think that just solved all these problems that are being faced right now. Let me know what you guys think. Ask me any questions, any concerns, and like always, stay safe.